Yes. What's going on, everybody? So it is a couple hours before fight time here on Saturday. UFC Vegas 62, Alexa Grasso versus Viviane Araujo. I want to put together a greasy four-legger for you guys today. The bottom line is that I really hate this card from a gambling perspective. I don't have great reads on these fights. A lot of the fights that I do have strong reads on are spots where they're pretty obvious and the lines are juiced to the tits, so they're mostly not even worth parlaying. So I've got some leans, but I'm hoping that you guys can help me out a little bit here, that we can come up with something together. But let's definitely start off with leg number one for me here. And if you haven't already, check out that Patreon. The web address there is on the ticker on the bottom for just a second here, but let's talk about leg number one. It's going to be the Pierre Rodriguez money line this week. So if we go to this fight here and I find Pierre, here we go. So Pierre is a little bit less experienced. She's a little bit smaller than Sam Hughes, but she is a good knockout artist. Sam Hughes, though, is showing 41% takedown defense so far in the UFC. And even though she's only been controlled for 6% of her UFC career, she is giving up some minutes on the ground as a result of her poor takedown defense. And she's only seen 12 takedown attempts in 5 fights. So if Pierre comes in with a grappling-heavy game plan, and we have seen her attempting 8.5 takedown attempts per fight in her first 2 fights. So if that trend continues, I think that she's not only the better striker here, I believe that she's going to be landing the bigger shots. Sam Hughes with not the best striking defense here at 54%, while it's 64% for Pierre. So I do think that Pierre is going to be winning minutes on the feet. She's been doing that thus far, landing 3.1, only absorbing 2.23, while Sam Hughes absorbs about 1 more significant strike per minute than she lands, and she's also throwing a lot less volume than her opponents. While Pierre throws more volume than her opponents and lands more volume than her opponents, and she's a lot more defensively responsible than Sam, and she's got a lot of power on the feet. But I also believe that not only will Pierre be the minute winner on the feet, but I believe that if she doesn't like how it's going on the feet and she can keep her ass off the cage, that she should be able to take down Sam Hughes and win some minutes in the grappling exchanges as well. So at minus 170, I definitely like that one as a strong leg to start off the parlay. Now, leg number 2 is going to be Joanderson Britto inside the distance at minus 165. So he's fighting Lucas Alexander, who's taking this fight on short notice, who only has 9 professional fights and who really doesn't have what I would call a signature win. The Jacob Kilburn win is definitely his best win. He won that fight because he broke Jacob Kilburn's arm with a kick. Kilburn went to block it and his arm got broken, but wasn't exactly a blowout up to that point. And Alexander is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt who trains over at Fusion Excel. So he's definitely got some really good grapplers in the room, like Jacare, like Rodolfo Vieira, like Phil Rowe, guys that can really test him on the ground for sure. But Joanderson Britto's got a ton of power on the feet, and he's swinging from the very moment that the fight starts to end your night. And Lucas has been stopped in both of his pro losses, both of them by submission. And for a guy who's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, he's never even submitted anybody in his career. So even though Lucas, is supposed to kind of like on paper be the better grappler, I'm not even sure if that's going to be the case. But I do know while these guys are standing that while Lucas looks good on the feet and he will be the taller, rangier guy here, it's just Britto who comes forward and throws bombs. So I see Britto landing a big shot and either subbing this dude on the ground or ground and pounding him out, or even maybe just sleeping him standing like he did to Jose Mariscal. So Joanderson Britto inside the distance. That's Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week this week. So I wanted that one in the parlay as well. And let's see here. What do we got in the room? We got our guy MMA Code is in here saying, let's get money. We got my guy Rob Lawrence with the fist bump. We got my guy DFS by the numbers, fresh, back from vacation, not particularly feeling well. I kept telling him, dude, look, you're a first-class guy. You're a first-class YouTube content creator when it comes to MMA. You've got to start flying first class. You go back there and coach with those tuberculoids, they're going to get you sick. And guess what happened? This guy's been on a plane, flying coach, trying to be a man of the people, getting around these tuberculoids, and he gets sick twice in a row now. So let's all keep Brady in our prayers. This young man keeps getting sick with the cold or the COVID or the flu or whatever it is. And let's hope that he gets better soon. But he's saying, oi, yes. What's up, Brady? It's good to see you in here, man. We got two saying, oi. We got my guy Jabril Patterson in the room saying, Uncle Weezy. What's up, Jabril? Good to see you in here, brother, man. And we got Paul Connor saying, stack 'em. We got Victor De Jesus saying, oi. Yes. What's up, Vic? It's good to see you in here, brother. Thanks for the support this week. Very, very much appreciated. We got D-Pax with the eyes. We got T-Rex saying, what's up, Uncle? And we got MMA Code saying, Brady, get well, bro. And we got Chris Kalanzis in the room saying, Big Brady in the house. Chris, the subject of Uncle Weezy's story time this week on of course, Just the Tip with Uncle Weezy on Tuesday. And what's up, Chris? It's good to see you in here, man. So those are the first two legs of the parlay. The third leg that I'm thinking right now is the fight to start round 3 for Misha Circonov versus Alonzo Menifield at -200. Guys in the chat, let me know what you think of this bet. If we take a look at the prop template here, at -200 for the fight doesn't start round 3 for Circonov Menifield, that's a 66.67 implied probability. So 2 out of 3 times this thing has to hit for us to break even. Now, we are overpaying by about 12.75% when we compare it to how many fights don't start round 3 at the 205-pound division for 3-round fights. So if the implied probability is 66.67, it's going to be about a 54% implied probability. That's about how often, 53.92% is how often fights don't start round 3 when they're 3-round fights and they're in the 205-pound weight class. So we're overpaying there. But when we compare these guys, how often they go under, the fight doesn't start round 3 at the UFC level, we see that it happens about 77.3% of the time. So over 75% of these guys combined 22 fights. So it would be about 17 out of their 22 fights have finished where they don't start round 3. So we're getting a 10.61% break there. And we see that these guys in their 22 UFC fights are not starting round 3 at a 23% rate higher than what the division does. So I think that these guys are a good match, a good stylistic match in order to have violence here. So let's say fight doesn't start round 3 for Circonov versus Menifield, which means we need a 4th leg. And I'm going to need help from you guys in the chat here right now. We've got 24 of you guys hanging out. Start giving me your best bets here, because we've got Joe Anderson Britto inside the distance. We've got the Pierre Rodriguez money line, and we have the fight doesn't start round 3. Right now on DraftKings, that 3-legger is coming out to plus 282. So if we can find something that's around even money here for a 4th leg, we should be able to get this thing up to like plus 300 would be about 25% implied probability. If we got it down to about 12.5% implied probability, we could get it up to like a plus 700, almost plus 800. So guys, start shouting out some stuff that you like that could be around an even bet here. Let me see what we got here. We got the Jackson Rodriguez over 0.5. That would be a fucking sweat, but let's look at it. The over 0.5 is minus 250. So that is something that I am not willing to lay for over 0.5. Let's just see how often that happens, though. Over 0.5, because that's going to be obviously a big Jackson Rodriguez over 0.5 minus 250. So at that price, we're getting a 17% break while we're overpaying by like 35% here for the over 1.5, the over 2.5. The fight goes to decision. Yeah, you know what? This is so. Jason Comtois saying Maximov. We've got Victor De Jesus saying Grasso 4-5 decision. We've got Very Big Deal saying Mana Davis under 2.5. We've got Deepax with the Martinez inside the distance, Grasso decision. I like that Grasso 4-5 decision. Wow, you've got over 0.5 at minus 154. Yeah, see, I'm looking at DraftKings right now because they've got the most lines. They've got the most available shit right here. And Victor also saying Victor Hendry, round 3 or decision. I'm liking what Victor's saying here. And let's look at that Mana Davis under 2.5 as well. So let's look at these 3 lines. Martinez versus Davis under 2.5, sitting around plus 110. We're overpaying by about 4.5%. We're overpaying by 14.3% when we compare how often these two guys go under 2.5 in their 12 fights, which would be about 33% of the time, it looks like. So in their 12 fights, they're going under 2.5 4 out of 12 times, yet we're paying 47%, which is over 14.3% over. And these guys are even going under 2.5 at a much lower rate than what the division is. So I think I'm going to stay away from that bet. Let's look at Alexa Grasso 4-5 decision here. Winner in group of rounds? Is that what? All right, winner in group of rounds. So let's look here. Grasso to win round 5 or on decision is plus 100. Grasso rounds 3, 4 plus 800. And then you said, yeah, Grasso 4-5 decision. Grasso via sub. Henry round 3 or decision. Swanson Martinez under 2.5. That could be interesting. Let's look at that Hendry round 3 because I love Victor Henry, man. And I think he's going to get this job done. If that's not a bad line, where is Victor Hendry? Victor Hendry to win in round 3 or on decision at minus 110 brings this Greasy 4-legger up to plus 630. I think that's what we're doing, you guys. I think we're going to go with Victor De Jesus' 4th leg here, which is something that I absolutely love. I think Victor Hendry destroys this guy. My worry here would be that he gets it done in the late 1st or in the 2nd, but we're getting a guy in Hendry who doesn't have the best you know what I wonder what would be an interesting one is to look at as well, because let's look and see if Rafael Assunção has ever been subbed. Rafael Assunção in his UFC losses has been subbed once, but he's been knocked out 3 times. And Victor Henry actually has more submission wins than he has knockout wins. I wonder who's... So he lost by sub to Moraes, so that must have been a club and sub, because Assunção is a good grappler. So maybe if we could find Hendry in the double chance at better than minus 110. Let's see. Fight parlays, fight props. Winning method? Do we have a double? Yeah. So let's see if we can get Hendry at better than minus 110 for knockout or decision. Knockout or decision is minus 360. Yeah, we're going with Victor Hendry as round 4, or a round 3 or on decision at minus 110 as the 4th leg of this Greasy parlayer that's now going to cash. Yeah, exactly. I consider Henry submission, but Assunção is a black belt, says Victor De Jesus, and he's been around forever. I just don't think that Henry submits him. You know, it's not likely, but the obviously. They agree with that because the line on Hendry is like minus 400 and you're getting minus 360 by KO or decision. So, but inside the distance is plus 130. And I think that's a good look as well. But I'd like to have that decision because it's not like Victor Hendry is this one punch power guy. So like a $10 bet, you guys, that would, or no, that's for staking all singles. On the parlay, a $10 bet would pay out 73 So it would be, you're getting about 6.3 to 1. It's not bad. Let's go with that one here. So let's do the banner here, and I'm gonna do leg 4. Oh no, let's hide that and let's do this. Leg 4 is going to be Victor Henry round 3/decision at -110. And that is leg 4, so that this parlay checks in at plus 630. Leg number 1, Pierre Rodriguez money line. Leg number 2, Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week, Joe Anderson Britto to win inside the distance. Leg 3, fight to start round 3, no, for Circonov versus Menifield. And leg 4, Victor Henry to win in round 3 or by decision at -110, plus 630 on the Greasy 4-legger this week. Let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC Vegas 62, guys. Good luck on all your bets, and I will see you tomorrow on Pub Sports Radio, 6:15 Central Time for Stat Diggers with my guy, DFS by the Numbers, who, even though he might be sick, always is there at game time, you guys. So we will see you tomorrow. Good luck on all your bets. Let's stack them high, and let's beat these bookies with a bag of oranges until we juice them, and then drink the juice in front of them as they lie internally bleeding on the ground, writhing in pain. Good luck, everybody. Let's have a great week.